Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome y'all to the show. I got my partner, Christnu, in the building, man. What's up, God?
Yo, what's the deal, Black?
Man, you know how we put it down, right? We finna get right into it because we wanna got a lot of information out of ground to cover. Especially, we wanna just touch base briefly on Bitcoins and different aspects, but. We want to start off with, we want to tie everything in together dealing with everyday life. And we're reminding you all to be prepared for Everyday People, the film festival, April 27th through the 30th. And also, we're getting ready to start the second documentary, which will be Everyday People Part 2. And I keep y'all up to date on the unfolding of this new documentary, man. It's going to be interesting as well. But now... dealing with yesterday's news, right? Check this out, brother Christnu. In Philadelphia, now check this out, man. Philadelphia, white dude just so happens to buy a basketball, right? Mm-hmm. Now he finds himself way across town into the hood, right? Mm-hmm. Now he in the hood, right? And in Philadelphia, he's in the hood with his basketball that he just bought. And he runs across a family who had a makeshift basketball court, and he said an old beat up ball, right? He gives them the ball, right? And then he decided to take a picture with them posing for the ball. And in the picture, I mean, I don't know if they purposely done it, but remind me of Hollywood Shuffle, the movie with Robert Townsend, but he had them cheesing. I'm talking about super cheesing, right? Mm-hmm. And he takes the picture, put it up on Facebook. Then from Facebook, he got so many hits, and people started donating him basketball, and then they started donating money, and he started his foundation. Right. But I noticed, man, it's a trend. Whether it's black or brown, you will always find a European who will go down to the community with a purpose already in their mind to appear like they the savior. Then they get all the media coverage, and it's like, oh man, this white dude, he the saint. But he planted out all along, though. It's like, how do you fall for the same trick over and over again in 2017? You know what I mean? And I tie that aspect in because now Bitcoins. When you come into the Bitcoins, right? Mm-hmm. How can and with that aspect of when you were saying that certain negative energy will pull on the Bitcoins as though it's rising, right? The Bitcoin rising. But if you got negative energy into something, then it'll pull it'll extract from it. Right. So to tie this in is if you...
On the individual basis.
For the
individual that's invested.
Put it in as investment.
Right.
But I want to tie back into the basketball.
Okay.
If you don't feel like you can do it for yourself, you will always look to someone to do it for you, which in aspect you pulling negative energy or you producing negative energy for yourself because you're not using the gifts or the positive energy within oneself to pull out a good outcome. So it's going to always, if you're in that position, it's going to always be somebody that can come in and say, hey, that can benefit off you in the peer to say, hey, I'm finna be your savior. I'm finna help you out. You know what I mean? Meaning if you really want to help them out, then drop a math book in there or something. Show how to invest. How you go, a basketball, goddamn, man. How many people going to make their dream or even get drafted in the NBA? You know what I mean? But it's that stereotype that they keep reinforcing over and over and over again, which now we into the Bitcoin.
Right.
Now, for the individual. Wait, but let me just ask you this. Mm-hmm. They say one bad apple spoils a whole bunch, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
Shout out to Devin the Dude.
All right. Now, check this out then. Okay. So then that means then that we got a new collective thought into the Bitcoins. Mm-hmm. Bitcoin's rising all the way up into 19 point something. Mm-hmm. I mean 19,000. Mm-hmm. Okay, then it become a a public known where everybody knows. Okay, well, Bitcoin next thing to invest in. It's all on the news, man. Like Dr. Boyce Watkins did a show on it. People talking about the Bitcoin. Then all of a sudden it dropped into 15. Now, are you saying through energy between whether it be male or female or that energy that we have, can a certain thought process become I don't want to say burden, but become a negative weight on something that could have been beneficial? Meaning that if someone thinks negative, can that negative thought affect the whole bunch, like one bad apple spoil the whole bunch?
Well, the reason why I say the individual is because for the person, for the individual that, let's say, is invested, it is their responsibility to dictate how their reality is going to play out. So now in terms of people that particular individual is co-creating with, they would be the people that have the most influence on how their reality is manifested. So as a rule of thumb, I would say that when you're investing in something, to always be optimistic about it, or otherwise pull out, and so that's my thing about it, now let's say, so for me, I'm not concerned about people that I'm not co-creating with in regards to how certain things are being affected in this reality, because I know that these things are just a product of the subconscious, so I'm approaching it from starting from self and those that I'm co-creating with in terms of how we see things in our reality and how certain things shape up, so I would tell anybody who's invested in it, or anything for that matter in their life, regardless if it's stocks, bonds, foreign exchange market, relationships, to, if you're gonna be in it, be optimistic or pull out. If you're not gonna be optimistic, there ain't no point in even being in the first place.
Meaning that that it can be some ups and downs.
That's just natural. That's just the scales of my yacht. So our work is just to balance it out.
Right, meaning that okay, I understand. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, that's like you have to take the good with the bad. Meaning it's not gonna be perfect.
No, ain't nothing perfect in this reality.
Okay.
It's flawed for a reason.
So dealing with any aspects in life, then there's gonna be some good times. There's gonna be some bad times. But
well, good and bad is just based on perspective. That's not reality. Good and bad. But ups and downs, ebb and flow, principle of rhythm, for sure.
What about win and lose?
Based on the person's perspective on the experiment that they engaged in,
Okay, so
they're going to determine if it's a win or a loss.
Okay, so what gives that individual perception though? Meaning that if sometimes when folk lose, they feel like, damn, what did I do wrong? And they pull out, and they don't want to deal with it anymore. Or what would give a person the what's the word? Give the person the, I don't want to say fortitude, but to keep going. Okay, meaning to keep climbing the mountain. Okay, I had a hard hit, and I got knocked down, but to give them that drive to, okay, I got to get back up. Some get hit, and they just fall out, they fade out. Is that an expectation that it's not supposed to happen?
Well,
a degree of optimism is what I'm saying.
Okay, well, let's say if we're talking about investments, which is a great example to use, is that, it's just part of the process whenever you're pulling out of something, in order, because you may have already made or gotten what you need to get out of it, and now you want to pull out, where you still may have came out on top, or maybe you lost a little something, but that's just a natural order when you're talking about investing in anything. Now what I would say in terms of what would be the guiding light for this, I would say your first mind, your gut feeling, your intuition,
Right.
Your synchronicity, let that be your guiding light on, and going with the flow, be like water in the way that you move, like Bruce Lee said, and that, that'll keep you, because like they say about synchronicity, that'll let you know that you're at the right place at the right time, regardless of what preceded that particular occurrence. So that's how I move.
It's there for a reason. I mean, you there for a reason. You just didn't stumble upon.
No, ain't no such thing as coincidence.
It could have been a prayer that been answered that you said could have been 2 years ago.
Right, exactly.
Really years ago, and it just not coming around.
Right.
But the thing is to recognize the opportunity.
Right. For sure, because it's always going to show up.
Going to keep coming back around.
But like they say in Bleach, only ones that are powerful enough will be able to capitalize on perfect opportunity.
That's because they can recognize it.
Yeah, and they had the fortitude to withstand, the ebb and flow of what they're invested in.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because this is, and the reason why I'm asking because this, especially dealing with the Bitcoin is new. It's a new phenomenon. They comparing it to gold. It's a new form of what they call cryptocurrency, but it's showing some results to where even Japan has made that one its main source of revenue in a sense, So this could be because the reason why I'm asking is first I got to say this is the wave of the future, but the reason why I'm asking is, and I don't know if you want to get into this part of it, but I'm still gonna ask a question. You know what I mean?
All right.
Now people are saying, man, we go back, let's say 10 years ago when they first said, okay, well look, they want to create a world bank, right? Then they said, okay, if they create a world bank, they want to own all the property and all the land. Then after they own all the property, all the land, they want one currency. And then that one currency, perfect fit would be the Bitcoin.
Okay. Well, what I can say is that this is new to me, just in terms of the concept of cryptocurrency. I mean, I heard about it years ago, but I'm just now recently starting to learn about it. And I don't want to go in too deep into something that I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on. I'm in my 101s literally on this.
Right. But concept.
Yeah.
We got all. I mean, I'm going by all the things that it can do.
Well, okay.
Your phone is your actual wallet.
Right.
You can travel with this around the world.
Right, that's right.
And still purchase and build and buy things with it, and you don't have to carry cash.
Right.
I mean, if it's a walk like a duck, talk like
look, I'm with you. I mean, only thing that I can say, and like I say, I'm not an expert on this, but they have a lot of different cryptocurrencies,
right.
Created by a lot of different people, So, like I said, I mean, I don't want to go into the whole, how the whole thing works with the miners and, how they regulate things, because I'm just not knowledgeable enough on it to be able to expound a lot on it.
As we wrap it up, I don't mind it. I don't mind the cryptocurrency because there's always been some form of revenue since the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. Hell, when Jesus was born, they came and brought him gold. Mm-hmm. So it's always been a form of currency or trading or bartering or something that they created with that had value to it anyway. Yeah. I'm just saying in this span of time, I'm thinking this is going to be the new form that they use to do transactions, because it would make sense if you look at the direction in which America is going and from British, Russia, China, Indonesia, which is BRICS banks anyway. Okay, anyway, but with the direction that they're going, it would add up. You know what I mean? Okay,
so let's say that just like you have, paper fiat now, you have all these nations on the planet that use this paper fiat. So let's say that cryptocurrency is going to replace that. So you'll have these different nations that are already invested in it. And you'll just have different forms of that one particular piece of technology. So it's still going to be broken up into different nations.
Right.
So it's still not going to be one just functioning from one entity. It's always going to be broken up amongst the nations when they have their own form, because until one nation takes over the whole planet, there'll be no one form of currency in terms of, them having dictatorship on how it's controlled wholly.
Right.
You know,
Something always be created.
because somebody will have another form of that same thing.
Right.
Yeah, the U.S. will have control over their fiat or over their whatever they're utilizing, and another nation will have control over their cryptocurrency. You know, and that's how it goes. And I'm not saying not saying that the U.S. is going to do any particular thing. I'm not saying that. I'm just making just giving this visual of how something is created and they don't originate anything, but they can take from the model and put something out there, and people can choose if they want to pull from it or not. But somebody else gonna have a different form of that same thing,
right? Because
the pyramids of Giza, pyramids over here. It ain't never gonna just be a monopoly on any technology on the planet. Never has been, never will be.
Because anybody can use the formula works for anybody who applies.
Right, step pyramids over there, over here, perfect. You know. The diamond pyramids over there. So I mean,
same thing. Same concept.
Yeah.
So it's done deal. Okay, well, I hope y'all got enjoyed and gathered some knowledge, you know, from what was delivered though. And stay tuned, because we will keep bringing you more information, updating you on the current status of cryptocurrency. And everyday life, because everyday people, and keep you informed of the documentary that will be where you can see it in 2018. And we out. Anything you like to add?
Man, that's it, man.
Man, Verb Pick Radio, we out.
Yeah.